Hey y'all, it's Elisa with Elisa Domes Crochet. Glad you're here to join me today. Let me show y'all what I'm working on. I thought that I would make some of the little loveys, I guess that's what they're called, the little loveys, that's got the partially granny square with the head of the plushie and the arms, and then you sew it into the little blanket. This pattern is by Oak and Morlow, and it's free on her blog. If you go to her website, if you've purchased the Fable Friends or one of the Fable Babies, then you can get this pattern for free. But you have to have either the Fable Baby pattern or either the regular Fable pattern to get this pattern, because you have to use that in conjunction with this. And so this granny square is pretty much it's just the regular way that you would do, a granny square. It's, the same pattern for that. And I'm gonna be working on this, and I had thought about making the Beth bunny head. I think that would be really, really cute for a little girl, to go to the coffee shop, because I mostly try to do baby items there at the coffee shop when I'm doing coffee shop stuff, because that's the department, or that's what they sell a lot of at the coffee shop. And she told me that I could put my crochet items in, with the baby stuff. So I try to do mostly, baby items, things that I think, either little smaller kids or that people's looking for like baby showers and such as that. And so, good news, y'all. So I got a notification just as soon as I uploaded my video. Now, tell me that this isn't God, because I'm gonna tell y'all, I was so down and I was so depressed whenever I had, posted that video, because I was thinking, I'm going to have to give up my crochet because I'm not selling anything. Well, just as soon as I posted that, I got a notification from the coffee shop that I had made $87 and something. And of course, they take 10%, so you would have to add whatever 10%, minus whatever, and then I got 87. That's what was, given to me was $87. They send it, through my PayPal account. So, and then I just deposit it into my banking account. Usually that's what I do. So, but y'all, I had gotten my mother, she was going into town, and Walmart, my local Walmart, did not have any more of the crates that I wanted. And so I was thinking, maybe try to find a different Walmart, that would have been closer by. There's one about probably 25 minutes from me, 30 minutes from me. And then there's another one that's probably about 35 minutes from me. And then there's two of them that's probably about 45 or 50 minutes. I think one of them may even be an hour from me. We couldn't find any of the crates in stock that I wanted, that was the size that I wanted, like the first one that I bought. So I was looking on the Lowe's website, and they had some. And so I was telling my mom, and she said, well, I'm going to pedal anyway. And she said, I can just stop by the Lowe's and pick it up for you. Well, then when she got it Lowe's, she called me and she said, they do not have the ones that you're wanting in stock. And I said, well, it showed online they did. And she said, well, they don't. And she said, they have some different ones, and they're $20 a piece. Said, well, I guess just get two of them, and I'll just try to get at least one more like the size that I already got. Well, when she got home with them, they are completely square. They're not rectangular, and they're super deep, like a planter that you would plant, that you would put like vegetables or something in, or you could set like a potted plant down in it. But it wouldn't be for anything that I would use, like for my market. And my mother, she didn't know that. And I was trying to explain to her, and I even sent her pictures before she even went, so she would know, you know, what I was looking for. But she just didn't know. So my husband is going into town tomorrow. He's got a doctor's appointment, and so he said that he would just run back by there. He would take them back, you know, and just get me my money back. And I'm just gonna try to wait until Walmart gets more in stock, and then get some from Walmart. So with the remainder of the money after buying the one crate from Walmart, which was like, it was like $14 plus tax, I think total and all it was probably $15 or $16. I don't remember how much I had left, but anyway, I bought some yarn. I had already told my husband that I was buying, you know, some yarn that I needed, and I really needed way more yarn than what I even bought, but I used the rest of the money and I bought yarn. And so I ordered it online from Walmart, and so Walmart is supposed to be shipping it to me, and so it says that I will get it next month, not tomorrow, but the next Monday. And so I said, well, that's okay, you know, I'll just, you know, just deal with that, you know, the fact that I'm not getting it until next Monday, because it's, you know, it's being shipped. They didn't have it in stock or whatever. I'm out of just about every color. I don't have a lot of any one color. I was just, you know, sitting there thinking, you know, what is something else that I would want to make, something else that, you know, that I might could sell at the coffee house, you know, because I really need to be focusing more on the coffee house than market makes and stuff like that, because of the fact that I'm just not able to do markets right now. And I wasn't able to do a market, and the reason that I didn't is because I had talked to my husband, I had talked to my mother and discussed it with them. We knew that we had like a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms. Well, it kept saying that it was going to rain in my area from like 4:15 to like 8 o'clock. And I said, that's basically the time that we're setting up over there. Well, I don't have sides for my tents. And I told my mom, I said, I would be scared to take my stuff over there and then it start raining real hard, me not having any sides for my tent, and, you know, or me not finding somebody that would even help me put up a tent, you know, because I'm not physically able to put my tent up. And my husband, he's not physically able either. And so my mom said, Elisa, I know you're wanting to do this. And she said, it's not really even a market. And she said, you were not planning on setting up but for 2 hours. She said, you really need to think about it. And I said, well, I have thought about it. I said, I do. I have a lot of money tied up in my plushies. You know, everybody, you know, that does plushies knows that. You know, you have a lot of money tied up in your, you know, your plushies. And you don't want to see anything get ruined. Well, I told my mom, I said, you know what? I will just not go to this. I said, and I will just try to plan for my market in September, because normally that is not a rainy month and it's a cooler month. And that's another thing, y'all. It was 103 degrees. It was 103 degrees. And it was so hot, we were still under a heat warning. And I had went outside like a couple of times. And I told my mom, I said, even stepping outside just for a few minutes, I get so, you know, nauseated and just kind of sick to my stomach and headache. I said, I just feel like I can't even hardly breathe. You know, it's so hot. And she said, and just think how it's going to be if you're there for a couple of hours, you know, out in that heat with no way to cool down or anything like that. And so I said, you're right. I said, I'm just going to, you know, plan on not going. I said, my car's loaded. I said, but I'll wait. And in the morning, I'll just, you know, get out there and I will unload my car and put everything back inside. So that's what I did. And I told my mom, I said, I hate to do that. I hated it because to me it was like, I felt like I had let myself down pretty much, you know, because I have been planning and planning and planning, you know, to do a market. And it's like every time I try to set up, but every time I've tried to plan it, something has went wrong. Either it's raining or I'm sick or, you know, just something. And so my mom was like, it's just not, you know, it's just not in the cards for you to set up. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on the coffee house, and then I'm just going to focus on my market in September. And so I said, you know, what are some things that I really need to be focusing on in making in September? And I said, I guess I need to be focused on making fall items and Christmas items. Stuff, you know, like that, because those are, you know, big sellers, you know, along with the baby item stuff. I'm thinking that probably what sold was probably the Una unicorn. And I had the fox down there. I had Dusty Dragon down there. So I'm thinking that probably 2 of those probably sold. And if they did, y'all, that would be amazing. That would be so amazing, you know. Something sold, definitely. So I had been thinking of, you know, and I had my little Mama Made Minis Knotted Lovies book, and I was going through it, and I said, you know what? I really want to make Cope Cow, but I had seen a lot of people on the Cope Cow, instead of just doing like the regular body Cope Cow, they were doing like the body in the overall style. They were doing like blue, and you know, for the body. And I said, I think when I go to buy my yarn, that's what I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to make a Cope Cow. And then I also want to make Ezra the elephant. So I have some fog from, it's the Premier Chenille Basic Brights in the color fog. And then I also have like some bubblegum pink. So I don't know if I'm going to make the elephant exactly like this, because I have this here, and it's the Bernat Blanket Vintage White, and that's what I'm doing the little rabbit head and arms with today for this lovey blanket. But I also am probably going to use it to do like I don't know if I want to use the bubblegum pink or that to do the little toe beans. And then I'm also going to make a couple of these. So this pink is so soft. I don't really remember right off my head what brand of yarn this is or anything. I have no idea, but it's a really soft pink. I thought, you know, with the rabbit, you know, that this would be, you know, a really good color combination. And then I have this, and it is super soft. It's like a cotton and acrylic mix, and it's kind of like a real light lime green color. And I've had it, and I don't remember. I think maybe got it either from Michael's or Walmart. I cannot remember. But y'all, I was looking for something, you know, that would be really soft, you know, and I'm thinking either I'm going to do this one with either like the mouse or, you know, a bear, or either a rabbit as well. I'm not really 100% on this one yet, but I also would like to find like a soft yellow or a soft blue, and I haven't just dug all through my stash, but I'm going to. And as soon as I get it finished, I'll try to come back on here and show y'all. Bye. Hey y'all, I'm back. I got this little square blankie piece finished, and so now the only thing that I have to do is just weave it in. So that's what I am doing now, is just weaving in the ends. it's taken me about an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 minutes to get this done. And I've not even done the plushy head or arms, which that shouldn't take me too long. I would say about probably 20 to 30 minutes on that. And so I'm wondering what people normally charge for these. And I was sitting there thinking maybe 25, maybe $30. But I'm going to try to find some prices maybe on Etsy. And I know people bump up their prices on Etsy. So whatever I find, I'll probably do like $5 under. So, but that's normally. And then I'll work on the head and the arms. And I'll see y'all later. Hey friends, I'm back. Y'all, I have lost my darning needle in my bed. And I can't find it. I can't find it. So hopefully I'll be able to find it later. But anyway, y'all don't mind my hair. I hadn't too long gotten out of the shower. That's better. So I just wanted to come on here and show y'all what this looks like now that I'm finished with it. Look how stinking adorable. I got a hair or something, y'all, that's aggravating me. I'm so sorry. But look how stinking adorable this cutie pie Lovey is. Oh my gosh. She is adorable. So this is the pattern by Oak and Marlowe, and Jocelyn does a fantastic job with her patterns. I absolutely love all of the Oak and Marlowe patterns. So this is from the Fable Friends, and this is the Beth Bunny. That's the pattern that I went by for the head and the ears and the arms, the little Beth Bunny. Now on her blog, she has a mod where she gives free eye tutorial. And so I went right by her free eye tutorial and did the eye embroidery just like she shows to do, because this is going to the coffee house and it's probably going to be bought for someone for their baby, or you know, for an expectant mother for the baby. And so we don't want no little ones getting hurt over the little eyes. And so this is meant to be like a little lovey that they carry around with them, that they hold and they cherish forever and ever and ever. So my kids always had a blankie, and my sister and especially my sister, we used to do a lot of quilting. They weren't crocheted, they were all quilted little baby blankets. And so, but this is what the other side looks like. It just looks like the regular little square that you made, and just the way that you sew it on there, you sew from the front and then you turn it around and you sew from the back some, and then you weave it in. And so I wove it in several times over the square, so because I did not want it coming apart. Now normally on the items that I'm taking to the coffee shop, I will normally put my business card, and I do plan on doing that. So I had got these, I don't know if I showed y'all these. I got these from the Dollar General. It has 7/8 cents, 1 1/8 inch, 1 1/4 inch, and 1 1/2 inch. And so just depending on the size of whatever I'm doing, I will, you know, pick a safety pin. And so I think, I don't really know what size this is, but I mean, this is the size that I'm probably, well, let's go with a little bit smaller. Let's do this one here. It was just a little bit smaller than that one. But I have been using these, and what I'm gonna do is get my little plastic pink price tag there. And of course, y'all have seen my little stickers. It just says, thank you. I don't know if you can see that or not. The little lighting is pretty, makes it want to be shimmery, but I love her. I think she's awesome. I think I did fantastic on the eye embroidery, the nose embroidery, and I used the same color yarn here as what I did for the nose. It's the same exact color, so it would match. And so it is a very light pink. In person it looks so much better than what it shows up on camera. But anyway, she's adorable. She's just adorable, and I hope that she will sell. I'm gonna be making, I have decided that I'm gonna be making the brie mouse. I think that's what it's called, the little brie mouse. And I'm gonna do this for the granny square. It's a really super soft cotton, and I think this will be really cute. And like I said, I haven't really gone through all of my worsted weight yarns to see if I have any more super soft. So I'm gonna get started on this one here today, and hopefully I can get it made too. Like I said, we're planning on going to the coffee shop on Tuesday, and today is Sunday. And so hopefully, you know, by Tuesday we can go to the coffee shop. I'm gonna take that bear with the pink jumper suit that y'all seen on last week's video. If you haven't watched last week's video, go back and watch it. And I'm also going to take them 2 little sleepy babies. If y'all haven't made a granny square baby blanket or these little, they're so easy. And it's really, I'll probably get faster on this next one. I just haven't made a granny square like little blanket thing, and I haven't never made one of these, but I have made several granny square blankets. But it's like the more you do it over and over, the faster you get. So I had a little bit of trouble with this yarn. It's Bernat blanket. It is really soft, and it was a brand new skein that I opened, but for some reason it was just a little, I don't know, it's not that it's stiff, it's like the, I don't know, like the string or whatever, the string part of it that it's connected to feels, I don't know, it just feels tighter or something, I don't know, but it was leaving marks, and I don't like for the yarn to leave, you know, indentions or marks on my fingers. And it could just be me, I don't know, it could just be me and my body, but it was just irritating my skin. And I have thought about, over and over again, I have thought about buying me one of them little crochet rings that you put on your finger and you just wrap the yarn around it. And then I know some people wears like gloves, and so I don't I don't have any fingerless gloves. I probably need to make me some, but I have thought about getting a pair of my winter gloves out and just putting it on my left hand, you know, and see maybe if that would help, because when I wrap this around my hand, usually what I'll do is I'll wrap it like this, and so I'm holding it like this, and see, by the time it works itself all the way down here, and it wants to get like hung right there, and then before I know it, I have this little indentation that it wants to curl around right there, and then it just leaves my finger just so sore and hurting. So I gotta do something about that, I really do. Y'all are gonna laugh at me, but I found my darning needle, praise the Lord, because that would have been bad if I would have sat on that thing, or, you know. Woo, but anyway, all right, I guess I shall get started on this. Get my 5mm hook here. But let me get to work on this, y'all, and yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. we'll talk to y'all later. Hey friends, it's me again, my little dog, Lord of Mercy. I am puppy sitting again today for my daughter. I puppy sit Monday through Friday, and some on the weekends too while my daughter works. I should say, whenever she needs me to puppy dog babysit, I puppy dog babysit for this little rascal. Oh my gosh, she's like watching two twin toddlers with ADHD, y'all. I kid you not. She is, oh, she's bad. Okay, so let me show y'all. I've already showed y'all the Beth Bunny mod by Oak and Marlowe with the little blanket lovey. And I got finished with the Brie Mouse with the little blanket lovey. I did, however, run out of yarn. I lost 2 yarn chicken, but you can't really even tell. I didn't get through with the border on just this part. So I got the border to right here and didn't finish it from this far. You can't really even tell just looking at it. I mean, you would really have to be like an expert crocheter and just like really be like to really realize and notice that. Oh goodness, this is the softest yarn. It is a cotton acrylic blend, and like I said, I really don't remember where I got it from. I think maybe Walmart, but I'm not 100% on that. I've had it for a while, and I've used it for like maybe a hairband in the past, and other than that, it just got thrown into my pile of worsted weight yarn. So, but I got that done. And then this is the Fable Friend, the Millie Chicken and Friends, and this is the duck mod. So I asked my group, you know, would they think that it would look better as a chicken or a duck, and everybody said duck. So with the feet, I thought for sure, you know, with the legs, how I made the legs look, you know, I thought for sure they were going to say chicken, but everybody was saying duck. So I made her into a duck. We'll see if she sells. I embroidered the eyes. Matter of fact, I embroidered the eyes on all of these because they're all going to the coffee shop, and they're going to be, you know, for babies, little bitty kids. And so I've been trying to embroider more of their eyes. And then I am working on a new pattern for, you know, myself. I know last week I put Ball Arena, the Ladybug and Beetle on my Instagram. Looking for testers. I'm still looking for testers. I will pick testers soon. I think I have like 9 that applied, something like that. 8 or 9 that applied. And I put on here, I will choose testers by July the 10th. Because this week, I think on Wednesday the 8th and the 9th and the 10th is my part 1 of the Retro Summer Cowl. So be looking for that, because the part 1 goes out. And if you're part of the Retro Summer Cowl and you complete the part 1, you can message me, email me. You know, I think you have to share the finished part 1 to your Instagram story and tag me, and then I will send you the part 2 to it. And then I think you have like 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not sure, to finish part 2 of that. And then, you know, you get the free pattern. If you're not part of the Retro Summer Cowl, it's already closed, but I am in the middle of changing over from Ko-fi to Etsy. And as soon as I can get my Etsy, I'm waiting on my banking account, and I'm hoping it'll be either this evening or tomorrow. And as soon as I get my Etsy open and I can get all my patterns on there, I will try. My goal is to get that pattern on there as soon as possible on Etsy, and I will try to give a discount, because I know everybody is looking forward to, you know, getting those patterns. So help me out now, y'all. Y'all know y'all want to go on my new Etsy, and so it's probably gonna take me a little while to get everything updated and in there. I have, you know, been working a lot, you know, behind the scenes on Canva and, you know, my patterns, and I'm still testing. And I did apply for a test, but I don't know if I got in or not. I probably did not get in because, y'all, there was a lot. So I applied for a tester call for BK Crochet, Brandy, and she's got the Edie Farm babies, the Edie Farm babies. It says that she's gonna choose today, July the 6th. It still says open, and then you have until the 14th to complete it. So she has Gray, Polly, and Lenny. And so I really wanted to do Gray. I think Gray is a goat, and then she has Polly Pig, and then Lenny the lamb. And so these are little small plushies, and there was literally 372 comments. And I know not all of them are, you know, people wanting to test, but the majority of them is. And so how do you even pick testers for that many? Oh my goodness, y'all, I wouldn't know what to do. I really wouldn't know what to do. I guess they just pick them at random. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, so I have like 10 comments on mine, literally. Just 10 little comments on my tester page. But I'm nowhere near as big as, you know, them. So I hope one day to be, though, because I hope one day, you know, that I can get some patterns released out there that may be, you know, pretty popular. You never know. You never know what I can come up with, you know. I'm not going to give up, that's for sure. So I really enjoy crocheting, and I told my husband, I said I felt like, you know, me making that little bit of money right after I had released my video, it was like God telling me that you're not done yet. I gave you this gift and you're not done yet. So it just made me, I don't know, y'all, it just made me happy. It just made me happy. And so what to work on next? Well, I guess the first thing I need to do is I need to check the Etsy and see if my bank has approved. I think it's like, they said it was like a $30 fee, and then it was 20 cents per listing per month. I think it's 20 cents per month. And so whatever I take to the coffee shop, I'm not going to be listing. And I don't know if I'm going to do custom orders. I've had Etsy before, but it has been so long ago. It's been a few years ago that I could not remember. And I know everybody keeps talking about the prices and the fees for Etsy has really gone up. And so I didn't know. So I was asking people, you know, do you have Etsy? How much is it? Because it had been a while, you know. Pricing has always been real hard for me. It's not my strongest point, but I really do need to crack down. I need to start timing myself, weighing out my yarn, and really, you know, especially on the stuff that I'm going to be putting on Etsy. I will definitely have to crack down and do that. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. I keep saying that, y'all, but I really am going to. So look, let me get off of here, and I probably am going to start working on a little cow. And so I really wanted to purchase the little Cleamy cow from Mama Made Minis, but I didn't. I forgot about having a cow pattern. I think it's by Jenny Loopy Doo, if I'm not mistaken. It's Chloe the baby cow, and she's just as cute. She's adorable. So I ordered some yarn to make the Cope cow in the blue overalls, and I am going to do that when I get that yarn in, but the yarn won't be here until next Monday, so a week from today. Not today, but the following Monday. And then I really want to do the Briggs Bear, and I don't have the Briggs Bear pattern, so I may not do the Briggs Bear. I have a pattern for, it's a plushie, it's Frankie the bear, and she was one of the ones that I tested for the, I think it was the Market Prep cow. And hers were a little bit bigger than the bears that I tested for the line with Lauren Crochets. I tested her bears as well, and they're adorable. They're cute, but they're tiny. And I have some books that I'm trying to make book buddies for to, you know, sell at the coffee shop. I thought about, you know, everybody's doing the book buddies at the market, so I thought about, you know what, I might can do the book buddies at the coffee shop and see, just see, you know. So I got the Cookie Mouse. I have to make a cookie for him because I don't have a cookie made. And so I am waiting on my dark brown yarn to come in. When it gets here on Monday, I'll make the cookie and it'll be ready to go. And I'm only gonna be charging like $1 for the book because these books are gently used books that I bought from a secondhand store. They are, some of them looks brand new. They are gently used books though. None of them are brand new. So I'm only going to be charging $1 for the book. I might just put a note and not really even put a price tag on the book. Just charge an extra $1 on my plushie and, you know, just say, get the book when you buy the plush or something like that. I don't really know because I've never done the Book Buddy before, so I really don't know how people do it. Well, that's enough of talking, y'all. I'm going to get off of here and I'll see y'all later. Hey, y'all. I know you probably can't see me really good. I'm in my bedroom with the lights out. I got my lamp on down there, but I have been up just about all night long with a bad migraine, dizziness, and just really nauseous. And it's Tuesday, it's lunchtime. My mother brought me some chicken noodle soup. I'm fixing to eat that. Y'all, look how cute my little bowl is. It tells a story. It tells a little story. And look, this is a bowl cozy that I made. Y'all, if y'all know how to sew and y'all have not made these bowl cozies, they're really good for holding your soup in the bed when you're sick and not feeling good. I did want to show y'all this though. I did manage to make this pacifier holder. So I was watching Priscilla Pate's channel, Pretty and Pate, and it was like her first vlog or whatever. I just found her channel recently and I've been going back and watching a lot of her stuff. She's a really good crochet artist. Really good. She's got a very unique style in my opinion. But anyway, she mentioned CJ Designs, mainly some beanies that she had. Let's see if I can fix this better. Anyway, I went on there and I watched her YouTube channel, CJ Designs, and I also went on her Instagram and followed it, but I've been watching a lot of her videos lately. CJ Designs, she's got some really neat and unique ideas, and she gives a lot of YouTube tutorials on different stuff, on beanies, which are headband, which are toboggans, beanies, whatever you call them. We call them beanies down here in South Mississippi. Some people call them toboggans down here too. Headbands, like the twisted headbands that I like to make so much. Sweaters, blankets, Afghans, the cows and the scarves. She makes all kind of stuff, y'all. And it's just some really good YouTube tutorials. And I really like her fashion design. Here a little while ago, I tried to learn to knit, and I wasn't really able to learn, but I really didn't give myself enough time to try to learn. She goes really slow with her knitting to start off with, and so I think I'm gonna go back and try to rewatch her and really try to learn to knit, because I think it would be something fun and just an added addition. I really want to learn to knit like blankets and scarves and just headbands and different stuff like that. This was the only thing that I managed to make today, and it's really cute. She gives this as a free tutorial. This is that really soft pink. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here. I'm gonna get off of here now because I really don't feel good. I'm really sick and I'm tired, and I'm just super exhausted, and my head has just been really hurting so bad. So I'm gonna get off of here and rest and just try to relax and rest the rest of the day and hope and pray this migraine goes away, and then I can get back to crocheting because I really have a lot of stuff that I'm wanting to make. But sometimes I can have a migraine for 2 or 3 days. It just really depends, and it's every month, and I know what's causing it. I've had them since the 5th grade, so I've dealt with these for a very long time. So I'm almost 50 years old, so I have dealt with them since I was about 12. So, but anyway, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later, okay?